Hi, everybody. Welcome to another interview. And today it's with you know who, Marvin. Hello.
What's going on? What's going on?
We are going to talk some stuff for you today. We have a subject, and it is slow, steady progress rather than quick fix. That is our topic today, because I know a lot of you suffer from impatience, wanting to get over there, wanting to have what you want. And for the beginning of 2020, January, Marvin and I thought this would be a good topic. So, Marvin, what are your thoughts about it?
Well, I mean, I think my thoughts about it are, I blame this type of stuff on the media. You know, I feel like the media throughout, for the last decades, ever since television has been created, advertisement, marketing, I just feel like they capitalize off of time. I feel like they capitalize off of making people feel like, they're running out of time. They make people feel like, everything needs to happen fast. You need to have this fast. You need to get this fast. You need to get married fast. You know what I mean? And I think that's the biggest thing that I've seen is that, media continues to like pound that into the heads of, all the consumers through television, radio, whatever the case may be. And I think that's where this quick fix thing sort of comes from in manifestation, whether it's an SP or, a house or a car or whatever it is that you're looking to manifest, and I think that the media really just capitalizes off that, makes people think like, oh man, I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time. I don't have enough time. What am I going to do? Oh, it's been a week already. Oh, it's been 2 weeks already. It's been a month already. You know what I mean? So I think that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed.
And like with this, for lack of a better word, law of attraction journey, manifesting journey, attraction journey, in looking back at the last probably 3 decades, what I see is that yes, you can manifest things quick and fast sometimes, but for a lot of people, it isn't like that. And those people then think there's something wrong with them. And I want to say this to the people that take longer: maybe look at it as you're laying a good foundation, that when you lay the foundation slowly, it's got time to set. And when it sets and it hardens, then it can become something you can build the rest on top of. So if you start with your self-love and you start with laying the foundation on the very basics, as in physical self-care, mental self-care, emotional self-care, spiritual self-care, all of those lay a good foundation. And then from that, then you can lay on top of it, manifesting a specific person, having an amazing home, manifesting more money, and then doing work that's meaningful to you and the hours that suits your body clock.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I mean, you couldn't have said it any better. I mean, everything has its gestation period, right? I mean, when a baby is conceived, you don't, two people don't have sex, and then the guy comes back to his wife and says a month later, yo, where's the baby at? Why isn't the baby here? You know what I'm saying? Like that never happens. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a 9-month process. You know what I mean? I feel like I feel like most things in life, quick fix never works. Whether it's, food, sports, relationships, sex, it doesn't matter. Like when stuff is like, when it's quick fix, it's like what are you doing? You know what I mean? Food doesn't taste good. A lot of food that's fast food, it doesn't taste as good as food that took hours to prepare. And so you can go down.
Hey, Marvin, in Australia, they've got this whole thing. You know how we've got fast food?
Right.
You go to cafes and it says slow food. They call it slow food. It's a slow food movement. So it's people that actually cook things in the cafe. They have to wait at least 20 or 30 minutes because it's being made fresh. So it's called the slow food movement over here. Yeah.
I did not know that. Wow.
I know.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, it is.
That's a great idea.
And it's no different to manifesting. It's like a little echo of how manifesting works, the slow way or the fast way as well.
Exactly. It's no different. And I know me and you've talked about this before. Like with food, it's like when you put it in a microwave, you know, versus when you go to the store and get some microwavable stuff versus taking time to prepare it. I mean, everybody knows the difference in taste. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You can't say, oh, this tastes better than this. And like, no, it's every, like you said earlier, you know, everything has its time. You know, the
Yeah.
foundation is being laid. You know, don't look at it like, oh, I'm missing out, or
Mm.
you know, I'm running out of time. You know, for people look at it like, oh, my SP is going to leave. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's like, no, your SP is not going to leave. It's only been, you know, 24 hours. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's only been 48 hours, however long it's been, and people react like it's the end of the world. And I think if
Yeah.
I could tell anybody anything about, you know, quick fix versus, you know, the long route, I would just say, just look at time totally different.
Yes.
Don't look at time the way that you've been taught to look at time, you know,
Yeah.
because for instance, like you can look at, and this might sound crazy to some people, but I mean, if you really think about it, peel back the layers, it'll kind of make sense. But you can look at the moon, and the moon looks like it's about 30 minutes away from you,
Yeah.
but it takes about 3 days to get to the moon. So that lets you know, like, yo, my brain is like doing something crazy. Like, how come it looks like, you know, the
Yes.
moon is like right there? Like, I can touch it. Like, I can literally get in my car or get in my plane and fly to the moon and be there in 30 minutes. That's how it looks.
Mm.
But it takes about 3 days to get to the moon. So it lets you know, like, okay, there's something we're not seeing. There's something, like a lot of scientists, they dive into stuff like that and light years and all of that sort of thing.
Mm.
But you know, it's like little stuff like that. And the same thing with a baby. When a baby's born, you know, it takes 9 months for a baby to be born, right?
Mm.
But for some reason, when a baby is born, we start over and say, oh, the baby's 1 month old. Well, what about the other 9 months it was inside of the damn stomach?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so we just gonna disregard that. We're not gonna, that's time. That's time that is in the stomach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I kind of look at it like we're really older than we actually are, you know,
By
because
9 months,
by 9 months,
or if you were premature, yeah, that bit on. Yeah.
right. Exactly. But I mean, like I feel like we all, like, so many people disregard it. Like the 9 months that you're inside of the stomach, you're just not gonna count that. You're gonna just, when I
Yeah.
pop out, you're gonna say, oh, okay, I'm 1 day old now, or I'm 1 month old now. No, you're not
Yeah.
1 month old. You're 10 months old because you've been inside the stomach for, you know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like I think about this kind of weird shit. You know what I'm saying?
Good.
Like,
Yeah.
and when I think about stuff like that, I'm just like, hold up, wait a second. You know, what is this thing called time? Like what? Like, why are they, you know, making it things, you know, say this with time and that with time and, you know, quick fix and all this other stuff. So it really makes you think, like, and that's why I tell people, I want you to really think differently about, you know, quick fixes
Mm.
versus letting stuff take its time. Like you said, the gestation period to happen and then, you
Yeah.
know, manifest what's for you.
And I think too, you got to ask yourself the question, why do I want things so quick? Because
Exactly.
I'm dissatisfied and disgruntled where I am. And if you're in that state, that is going to handbrake things coming to you quickly anyway. So, you know, I
Exactly.
get a lot of how long is this going to take me to get this? And, you know, and then I know you can't tell me exactly, but what's an average
Yeah.
kind of period? And I think
Yeah.
you've missed the point of relaxing and allowing if you're asking those questions. And I understand people ask those questions because I ask those questions too.
Right.
But it's when you let go of your preoccupation with how long, are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? You let go of that.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's like the adult version of kids sitting in the back of the car when they're 6 years old asking that question. It's like the adult version of that.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. Where's my manifestation at? Is it here? Where's
Yeah,
my and like the universe is the parent. Like, would you shut
yeah,
up? Like, would
yeah.
you shut up? No, it's not here yet.
Not
I know
yet.
what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. It's gonna come to you at the right time. And when it does, you're gonna thank the hell out of me
Exactly.
over
Yeah,
and over and over again. You're so
yeah,
right.
yeah,
You're so right.
yeah.
But I've been studying Wu Wei, which is like the art of allowing. It's I want to say Lao Tzu,
Yep,
from way back, you know,
yep.
thousands of years ago, Lao Tzu and Wu Wei, and he was really big on the art of allowing, you know what I mean, and not
Mm,
rushing things to happen, and understand, like you said, when you give up resistance, things will come a lot faster.
Yeah.
You know, things will come a lot faster once you give up that feeling in your gut, or that, you know, in your mind, or whatever the case may be, and you're like, oh, where's this stuff at? Where's this stuff at? But the art of
Mm.
allowing is really powerful, you know, and anybody can experience, whether it's, you know, us in
Mm.
manifestation, you know,
Yeah.
athletes, they call it being in the zone.
Yeah.
You know,
Which
where
we
stuff just start.
discussed. We discussed
Yeah,
that in a previous interview. Actually, Marvin, I'll get some links directly to the ones you've been listening to, and then we'll put them down below in the description for the people that want to check out allowing and manifesting and laying good foundations in a steady
absolutely.
way.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
it sounds contradictory, but I mean, the art of doing nothing is actually doing a lot, you
Yeah.
know. And it's like the saying goes, you've heard the saying, less is more. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And it's so hard to get people to comprehend that, because, like I said, especially in the States, I don't know how it is over in over across the waters, but in the
Yeah.
States, it's like we are taught, you got to work hard. You got to
Yeah.
work hard. You got to put in 15 hours. You
I
know,
know.
if you want to, you know, manifest this, you want to manifest that. I see people with YouTube channels, you know, they tell people you got to do it all the time.
I
You
know.
know, you gotta always focus, focus, focus. You need intense desire, intense will.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself, like, God, these people are gonna get burnt out,
Yeah.
you know, from manifesting, and then they're gonna stop, and then they're gonna say it doesn't work.
Yeah.
When in all actuality, it
Mm.
was way easier
Yeah.
than we were, you know, led to believe.
Yeah. And you
You
can
know?
sustain slow, steady, consistent 4 to 5 days a week. Like I always
Right.
think, I don't do things 7 days a week anymore. I want time for my brain to rest, my eyes to rest off the computer, off the phone,
Absolutely.
and then
Absolutely.
go for a walk in nature, go to the park, lay in the grass, look at those clouds, whatever, and
Yep. Yep.
disconnect from
Yep.
trying to make it happen when you're pushing that hard. I still think comes from there's not enough time, there's not enough love, there's not enough money.
Exactly.
So it's
When you
still got your ladder up the wrong wall because you're still trying to force and control an outcome.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And when you do it that way, it's like you're never gonna get what you want. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're just gonna be working. It's like, you know, that saying, you take, what is it, 3 steps forward, you know, 2 steps backwards,
Yeah.
and it's just gonna be an ongoing cycle, you know.
It,
But I've really found that's really, you know, the best is the art of allowing. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Just letting whatever you
Yeah.
want. You know, like you said, slow and steady. Like we always talked about before in our past interviews. You know, the turtle wins
Yeah.
the race, and the rabbit gets hit, turns into food. You know what I mean? Gets turned into roadkill. You know what I mean? I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. You know. So
I don't know
I'm,
that's the ending of that story like that. But I've got it in my head now.
yeah, tire marks, just tire marks. You know, find somebody some roadkill. You want some You want some rabbit for dinner. You know what I mean? Go
Yeah.
outside, get it cooked up. But but yeah, I just feel like with this topic, I just feel like if everybody could really wrap their head around time, like what
Yeah.
time really is and what it really means, like that's so imperative to me, because I feel like we've been so misled. And I
Yeah.
mean, they tell you one orbit around the sun is equal to a year, but
Yep.
who says that though? Like, why not 2 orbits? Why can't 2 orbits equal 1 year? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Why can't 3 orbits equal 1 year?
I know
You
because
know,
we've put labels on it and we think it's fixed the way we see it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that's like kind of the thing that I want to try to get people out of. Like, I
Mm.
remember, I want people to check out this clip on my Instagram page,
Yep.
and I'll leave the link. But
Cool.
there's a real estate guy over here in the States called Grant Cardone. And Grant Cardone, he's super big time. He's worth about $500 million, like $500 million net worth, somewhere around there. And he's getting interviewed about the guy, and he goes, he's like, I don't manage my time for something that doesn't exist. He's like, where did time come from? He's like, where does it come from? He's like, people wait all weekend for Saturday. He's like, it doesn't even exist. He's like, who the hell made up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? He's like, what are we doing here? He's like, it doesn't make any sense to me. He was like, this stuff was contrived by some guy like 10,000 years ago. He's just like, obviously he's poking fun, but he's like, these ideas and things have been made up from somebody from like thousands of years ago, and we believe it. We're waiting around for the weekend, and it doesn't even really exist. But like
Yeah.
you said, it's been conditioned in our mind to think like, oh, I can't wait for the weekend. You know, oh, I can't
Mm.
wait for the weekend. I can't, you know, wait for this day. I can't wait for this day. And so I just want
Yep.
people to really reconstruct their mind and
Mm.
look at time way differently. And I think if you can do that, I
Yep.
think I think you'll get rid of the anxiety.
Yep.
and a lot of things is like that revolve around time, and you'll
Yeah.
start to see like, wow, time really isn't what I thought it was. Time
No.
is, you know what I mean?
And you
So
remember Joseph Murphy? I'll put the link to this YouTube down below. He talked about collapsing space and time.
right,
Like he was saying, if you go from, let's use Australia or the US, because they're both big countries, you go from one
right,
side of the country to the other. If you go
right,
by foot and you're
right,
walking, it's going to take you like 6 months. But
right.
if you go by what he said, horse and cart, because that book was written a long time ago,
Long time, right.
you can do it in about 3 months or something. And he said, and then it was like, okay, well, if you do it on a plane,
Right,
do it in 5 hours. So you're collapsing that
exactly,
same amount of space into that
exactly.
much time. So what you're saying about time being, you can sort of move it around once you
Yeah,
understand.
especially in your mind. You know,
Yep.
you can definitely collapse it in your mind, and it, like I said, I mean, who's to say that there's 24 hours in a day? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It may be 24 hours in your day. You know, my
Yeah.
days are unlimited. You know, that's how I look
Mm,
at things. Like that's how I
mm.
try to look at things. I don't try to look at things the way the norm look at it. You know what I mean? Because you get caught up in that rat race. I don't want to be caught up in that
Yeah.
rat race. You know what I'm
And
saying? I don't want to feel.
it's built around that 9 to 5, Monday to Friday thinking.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
you got to understand, and people got to understand, like, where did that come from?
Where did
You know
that
what I
come
mean?
from?
I don't even know where that came from. I'm just
No.
asking the question,
Yeah.
where did it come from? Like, who said that? You know, was it people of higher powers? Was it, you know, who came up with that? Who said there only has to be, why isn't there 30 hours in a day? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Why is there 24 hours in a day? Why are there 7
Yeah.
days in a week? How come there's not 8 days? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, these are
Yeah.
questions that I challenge people to look into and say, wow, I've never thought of that. You know what I mean? Because
Mm.
people, they always feel like they're running out of time. And I
Yeah.
think I talked to you about this before. Like, how would we feel if we woke up one day and we didn't know how old we were?
Mm.
You know, we would live a lot longer probably if we woke up and we didn't know how old we were. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like, I mean, I think about this type of shit all the time. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It might
Yeah.
sound weird, but I mean, these are like, to me, they're legitimate questions that, you know, I think people should question.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I've been reading this weird little book from 1922. It's Arnold
Rational
Arrett,
fasting.
Rational Fasting, but he talks about that getting wrinkles and getting old is about the food you've put into your body for years and years, and he talks about the mental
I
state as
agree.
well. And I thought, wow, you know, because we do have this thing that we get older, and we do have this thing that we get old and sick. It's like you put
Yeah,
those two words together, you know, oh, he's just getting older and he's getting sick. It's like, well, old and sick doesn't have to go together. It doesn't have to.
right. It doesn't, but we've been conditioned to say it does. You know,
Yeah.
so if I get to, you know, 90 years old, I don't want people to say 90 years old. I want people to tell me I'm 90 years young, you
Yeah.
know, because that's how old I'm going to be. And like I
Yeah.
was telling you earlier,
Yep.
Bob Proctor, man, he's almost 90 and he
Yeah.
looks the same way he did 20 years ago, 30 years
Mm.
ago. He's almost 90 with more energy. I know 80-year-olds at my gym that look nothing like Bob
Yeah.
Proctor. You know, people that are
Yeah.
older than Bob Proctor look nothing like him, you know, and
Yeah.
he looks amazing because he practices what he preaches, you know? And I just think that um if people could really look at time differently, you know,
Mm.
really get rid of the anxiety especially with your SPs. And you know, because obviously that's a big topic. You know, you would
Yeah.
stop thinking, oh, it's been 30 days. How come my SP didn't do this? Well, what if there was no such thing as 30 days? You wouldn't even know how
But it
long
was
it's been since XP contacted you. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's weird shit like that. It's like you wouldn't know. You know what I mean? So
yeah. Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
so
We
crazy.
torture ourselves a lot with the concept of time, like you say. You know, and I think when you start looking at, I'm coming from that base foundation, not enough time, not enough love, not enough money, and love
Right.
is over there, money's over there, and I don't have enough time to get it, because that's usually
Yeah.
how the subjects go. You go, okay, let me
Yeah.
change. There's always enough time. I have plenty of time. I have
Always.
time. There's
That's a great
always enough.
affirmation.
And I've got to enjoy this day.
Yes.
This day.
Yes.
Right now, from morning till bedtime is a little day-tight compartment. This is the day that I can enjoy. I can't enjoy tomorrow. I can't enjoy yesterday. It's over. This is it right here.
Yeah. Exactly. I agree. I agree 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
And there's another book too. Dr. Robert Anthony. He has a book called The Power of Deliberate Creation, or The Secret
Yep.
of Deliberate Creation. I'm not sure. I
Yep.
can find the link and we can post it.
Yep.
Um, I don't think that they took it down off YouTube, but you could probably buy it on Amazon or wherever.
Yeah.
But in the book, he talks about how time isn't real. He's like, one of his theories is if time were real, it would be the same time everywhere. You know what I'm saying? It's no such thing as it's being, 6 o'clock over here and then 1 o'clock over there. And then on the other side of the world, it's, 2 o'clock. And then he's like, if time were real, he was like, it would be the same time everywhere. And I thought, wow, that's very profound. Like, I've never heard anybody explain it that way. You know what I mean? But he goes in more in depth, and he says some other things too. I don't remember because it's been a few years since I read the book.
Yeah.
But I definitely encourage people to check out that book and look in that chapter and when he talks about time, because it's like mind opening. It's just like, wow.
And I think too, it helps you relax, like you're saying about dealing with the anxiety, because you've got so much time pressure. Like women, I hear a lot say, oh, I'm running out of time to have a baby, or I'm running out of time to be able to save for my retirement, or I'm running out of time to do what I really want to do because I don't have enough money, whatever it is. That's the stuff that gives you the anxiety.
Exactly.
So if you change your concept and your interpretation of it, then the anxiety just goes right down.
Dissipates.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That's why, to me, it's the biggest thing I think we have to change is how we view time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I've gotten this just like you say with women. I've had the pleasure of speaking with a lot of the Indian viewers over the past few months, and I noticed like that's a huge trend in their culture. When they're in their like mid-20s, 24, 25, they're not getting married yet, and they're like freaking out and they're panicking, and I'm like, whoa, take a step back. I understand that you don't have your SP and you're 24 or 25, but you got to get rid of that conditioning that your culture has put on you for so long, and understand that it's not a sin if you don't, have your SP or married by 25 or 26 or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm saying? And
it's sad because, and it's not just the Indian culture. I know there's other cultures that I work with that being single is like a disease.
Right. That makes sense.
And it's like, hang on a minute. If I am healthy and happy and at peace and I feel good about myself in my singleness, ooh, that's an attractive human being.
And it's peaceful.
Yeah.
It's attractive, it's peaceful, it's love, it's everything. You know what I mean? And I just really want people to understand that you're not in a race against anything. You're not in a race. There's no race. Like you're not. What it really is, like you always like to peel back the layers. What it really is it's just conditioning. It's what you've been taught through media. It's what you've been taught through your parents. You know what I mean? Parents being a big one. Because obviously they're raising you. You're around them a lot, and they're teaching you what they were taught. Yeah. And then their parents were teaching them what they were taught. And it's just a perpetual cycle that goes back, decade after decade after decade. And it's like, wow, like we were really taught the wrong things, and that's why it's so important to get people to think for themselves, to think outside the box. Yeah. And not say, oh, well, my grandmother's, because you have those people. I know those people, yes. Well, my mom said this, or my grandmother said blah, and they swear by it. What I mean? They swear like, oh, my grandmother's the law. You know what I mean? What she says, she's always right. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's an affirmation. You believe your grandmother's right. That's an affirmation you're telling yourself. You know what I'm saying? What if she's
actually, Marvin, speaking of that, I've got this really weird thing I heard about that. There was this woman, and she was making this, it was a roast. And it ended up, she had it on this flat tray and she cut the end off it. And the woman in the story said to her, why do you do that? And she said, oh, that's just what you have to do with roast, because that's what my mother did and that's what my grandmother did. But when she actually went back and found out why, the grandmother actually taught the mother that taught the daughter, they cut the end of the roast off because it didn't fit in the oven.
Wow.
It had nothing to do with the roast. It had everything to do with the space that it was being cooked in. So you really do have to ask yourself, why and where is this coming from? So 3 generations were cutting the end off this roast because that's what grandma did. And it was literally nothing to do with the food.
Yo, yes, that is crazy.
It's mad, isn't it? So you talking about what we get from the generations above, we have to ask and question why.
Right. Yo, that was, oh my God.
I know. When I heard that, I was like, what? Yeah.
Yo, listen, I thought you were going to say some like intricate, like, oh, well, you cut the roast off because the blood drips to the left.
I know. Some radical cooking technique. I know. And that's what the mother and the daughter thought. And they finally went back and questioned the why. And it was simply because they had a very tiny stove and it didn't fit. So you got to look at all things that you're taught from your family as to what did this start. And
yes,
you know, I mean, we don't go back to look and judge with today's eyes that generation because it's you know, the times have changed. But get the good things from that generation, and those kind of things actually query them and say, hey, what the heck was that about?
What? Listen, you are right. That is so. I'm just mind blown right now, like thinking about that. How simplistic. Like, because I'm thinking you're getting ready to say something like E = MC squared answer.
I know.
And you just said, oh, they just cut it off because it couldn't fit.
I know. When I heard that, I just leaned back and thought, oh my God, that was so simple. I had nothing to do where you thought this was heading. It didn't go there.
But that's a perfect analogy of what we do every damn day.
Yep.
We do it every day in our lives. It's like so many people do it every day.
Yeah.
And it's really that simple. Just cut it off. Just cut it off.
I know. It's funny, isn't it? When I heard, and that story stayed with me because I was kind of like bewildered by it. Oh wow. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking to myself like, wow, like as you were telling the story, I'm thinking, wow, I wonder why they cut off the end.
I know.
There must be a reason.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then and that makes me think. There's a superstition in my household with my mom. Every year she cooks a pig. For New Year's, she cooks a pig, and she cooks black eyed peas. Yeah. And she cooks like some greens. I forget what greens, collard greens, something like that. And she tells me, my brother, and my sister, we need to eat that every year on New Year's Day because it's good luck. She's like, if you don't eat it, something bad's gonna happen to you.
Wow.
And I'm just thinking, like, now that I know all of this stuff, I'm just thinking to myself, you know what, Mom, I'm only gonna eat this to make you happy. But I really don't believe this shit. Like, I don't. And then you know what she told me? She told me my uncle. She told me her brother one time didn't eat it, and he got in a bad car accident or something that year. He didn't eat it. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so I guess that's something that she did with her mother, you know, as they were growing up or something like that. Because I never, you know, it's crazy. I never asked my mom where she got that from.
Yeah, you have to ask her now. Where did that?
I have to ask her.
But the thing is, the brother, your uncle, you'd have to ask, did you have a fear of I didn't eat the pig, what's going to happen to me? Because you got to look at what he believed about the pig eating.
Exactly. And that's again, like you always say, peel back the layers.
Peel back the layer. Do you see him? Can you ask him that question?
No, I really don't, because a lot of those guys live in the States. They live in Virginia. I don't really see them or talk to them like that, but I can ask my mom.
Yeah. Be interesting to know.
Yeah. No, it would be. But
can I come for New Year's next for the pig meal? Because I actually really like the sound of all that.
Yeah. Hey, it may bring you some good luck. You never know. You may start doing it. You may say, listen, I flew to the States and I came for New Year's and my life just changed from that moment on. So absolutely.
There you go. And you know what's funny? You know how I showed you a bit of this house where I'm staying because I've manifested staying here for 10, 12 days for free, and it's this beautiful like $2 million house. The guy that stays here with his family, I've known them since 1987. I've known them. We went to dance college together, me and his wife. He got a pig roaster for Christmas.
No.
Wanted a pig roaster.
Wow.
Got this huge pig roaster in the back. So he's obsessed with pig roasting. So yeah, there's a lot of pig roaster fanatics around the globe.
That's crazy. That's crazy how that links together. That's wild. That's crazy.
Of all the random things, there you go.
Yeah. That's insane.
That is so funny. Insane. Now looking at what we started with, quick fix versus slow pig roasting. For your January 2020, what are you incubating slowly? I mean, you don't want to talk too much about details, but are you working on the work area, the money area, the body fitness? What do you got going on? What are you hatching?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say nothing SP related, because like SP is like, I just feel like I'm on a whole nother level. You know what I mean? Everything SP is fine. It's going good.
Yeah.
But my main focus now is, like you just said, money related, real estate related.
Yeah.
Those things that I'm definitely have. And I've been seeing some crazy synchronicities that have been going on that are just like mind blowing. And I told you about them earlier.
Yep.
Or maybe it was when I forget, whenever it was we talked, I told you about some synchronicities that I've been seeing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, holy cow, like it's crazy when you put an intention out into the universe and you start, seeing things, you start seeing things happening, random stuff happening, and you're just like, wow, that's from the intention I put out.
Okay.
And that,
Let's break that down a bit. How do you set an intention? How do you actually go through the mechanics of doing that for yourself?
So what I do is I close my eyes and I see it.
Okay.
And I say, and I try to get into the habit of saying thank you.
Yes.
For it being done already.
Yeah.
Instead of asking for it, because asking implies that you don't have it.
Yeah.
And I try to put myself in the mind frame like I already have it. I try to talk like, and I don't want to get like religious on anybody or anything like that, but I remember in the Bible, like when Jesus would pray or whatever, he would never ask. He would just like give thanks.
Yeah.
He just gave thanks for stuff being done. And so I'm kind of trying to follow in that footsteps to like say, because whatever we want, like Bob Proctor always says, the famous law of attraction coach, he goes, all the energy that's here, that's been created, it all exists already. Yeah. Anything you want, it's already here. You just got to get into the vibration of it. Like $1 trillion doesn't need to be created. Trillions of dollars already exist. Millions of dollars, billions of dollars, it already exists. You just got to get in the frequency of it, So nothing needs to be created. It's already created, whether it's money, energy, whatever, it's already here. And so,
Marvin, my law of attraction friend that I had been doing stuff with for years, she used to say to me, and it was such a great visual, she'd say, money is moving around in transactions all over the globe in millions and billions of dollars every day. And it was such an interesting thing, seeing it like it's above and there's transactions going through electronically now. It's not just cash.
Right.
I mean, I find I go to pay cash for things these days. I love cash because it makes me connected to what I have, what I'm giving. I can leave a tip. It's not a tip on a card. So I like bills. And
yeah, definitely.
What was I going to say? I just dropped my thought on the floor.
You said the money was like waving. So
I go to the cafe and she's like, she instantly gives me the machine. I'm like, no, I'm paying cash. And she said, oh, I'm sorry. She said, everybody always pays by card. And I go, I know. I said, I like cash and I like to be able to tip you in cash and see the money. And she said, yeah. She said, I understand that. So yeah, it's amazing that like in areas like, I'm in the city in Sydney, so it's a city, but you think so many people are not using cash these days. Eventually it's going to disappear.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely. And it can be in like astronomical numbers. Because for instance, something I've been studying is the foreign exchange market.
Yeah.
And every day there's, I want to say, about $5.4 trillion worth of currency bought and sold, so that's throughout the entire world. So it's people converting, US dollars to Australian dollars, Australian dollars to pounds to whatever, you know what I mean? And so when you think about that number, like, wow, $5.4 trillion traded daily, you know what I mean? That's a lot of money, but that shows you it's like you said, it's like your friend said, it's coming in waves.
It's just moving through as energy through the internet portal, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, exactly. But
So you're
So go
working
back
on
to
that. You're doing a bit of
yeah,
that.
absolutely. That's how
So
I
is that a slow game? Is it like slow food? Is it a slow game?
What do you mean?
You know, we were talking about fast food and slow food.
Okay.
That slow food is where they prepare it and take time, and you got to wait for them to
Right.
cook it in front of you so it's fresh. Is this a slow game when you're doing those kind of transactions? Is that a slow and steady game, or is that a quick game, like quick feed?
No, you mean like the markets?
Yeah, the
Oh
markets.
yeah, that's super quick. Like
Super quick.
yeah, that's super. Like when people do that type of stuff, you can make millions of dollars in one day. You know
Okay.
what I'm saying? Like if you're a professional trader,
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, a
Yeah.
person can make millions of dollars in one day. You can make tens of thousands in one day. You can make 500 in one day. You can make $20. It depends on how good you are at it. You know what I'm saying? But I use it as a reference to say, you know, how much money is out there in circulation for everybody to get a hold of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's not something that I really focus on as far as like the market, that type of market. But to answer your question, that's what I do is, to go back to your question you asked, that's kind of like what I do. Like I kind of close my eyes, visualize what I want, and then I say to the universe, you know, thank you for bringing it to me. You know, or if I do ask, I say, I want such and such, you know. But the one thing I never do, and again, this goes back to what our topic is, I never place dates on anything.
Yeah.
And I know some people may disagree with that. I know some people may put dates on stuff, but me personally, I never put that kind of stress and anxiety on myself, because I know that it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen. So I never put dates. I just ask for it, and then I just give thanks that it's done, and then I start seeing signs. Like I just start seeing the signs throughout the day, throughout the week, and I'm just like, whoa, it's getting close. It's getting close. It's getting close.
Yeah. I'm like you, Marvin. I used to try and put dates on certain things just to play around and see. But
Exactly.
when I look back at myself then, like a decade ago or whatever, when I was doing that, it was still me feeling dissatisfied where I was and trying to get over there quicker.
Trying to get,
For me, it was. For some other people, it might not be. But for me, it definitely was. I was just impatient. I was trying to create. I was trying to get. Let's face it. Trying to get.
We've all been there. You know, I've been in that same walk. You know what I mean? And it just takes patience. It takes consistency. It takes, like we're talking about, it takes not trying to be quick, and to just slow and steady always wins the race. You know, that's what it takes, whether we like it or not. You know what I'm saying? What did they say? The Earth, the galaxy, it took 7 days to make it all come about. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, let there be light, and then you know, everything was made. You know what I mean? Everything was made. You know what I mean? Nothing happens like that. The seasons, over here in the States, we have the 4 seasons where I'm at. You know what I mean? Winter is never rushed. You know, fall is never rushed. Summertime is never rushed. It's not like we can just push a button and say, hey, come on, summer. You know, come on. You know, we can't do that. You know, everything in nature has this figured out.
That's right.
Everything in nature has this figured out. Except us. We are the only. We are the only like living things on Earth that don't have this figured out. But nature never rushes. Animals never rush.
Yeah.
We're the only, you know, beings on Earth that are like, nah, this needs to hurry up.
Hurry up. How can I get this faster? How can I get there quicker? How can I? I know we need to observe nature and slow down our needing everything today.
Yep. Absolutely. I agree.
Yeah, it's really, there is no rush. There is no rush.
There isn't.
I've still got the image of the rabbit getting the tire tracks and roadkill when you mentioned.
Yeah. I mean, yes, you got to think about it though. Like over here in the States, I live around a lot of deer.
Yep.
I live around a lot of deer because I don't live in like the city area. I live like in the suburbs.
Yep.
And like I always see deer get hit.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I always see rabbit get hit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Or squirrels.
Yes.
Or whatever, because they move too damn fast.
And they're the little nervy animals, the one that've got anxiety.
Yeah, that's exactly right. They look like they have anxiety. You're just like
a little rabbit.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? In the North American Indian cards where you see the animals and what message they give you, the rabbit was fear.
No.
Yeah, I
did
don't
not
know
know
if there
that.
was a turtle. Yeah, if you look up North American Indian cards on Google or on, because I was looking at that a lot, because at the time I had a partner who was really into that and was
Right.
studying to be a shaman. And I remember thinking,
Oh, wow.
look at these cards. And
Yeah.
the rabbit, I would pull the rabbit card a lot, and it was fear and it was mirroring. And of course, the cards were me pushed out too. So I was picking.
Right, you pushed out. Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah.
That is
Hey,
amazing.
speaking of animals, I got to show you something. I was looking this up because I wanted to show you. Look at this. This is just sensational.
It popped up.
That is.
Oh, is that a kangaroo?
It's a woman holding a kangaroo, and the kangaroo's so relieved because she saved him from the bushfires. Isn't that just amazing photograph?
You know what? I think I've seen that one.
Yeah.
And I've seen quite a few, because on social media, they're posting it like everywhere.
Yeah, it's on Facebook. Someone I saw posted,
Yeah.
I thought, wow. You can just see the absolute relief in that. And I thought, the amazing thing how animals really show emotion, and that photo, whoever took that photo just captured it.
They did. And they said that the kangaroo wouldn't let go. They were like, the kangaroo wouldn't let go of the lady.
Yeah, I know. I just thought, when I saw that, I thought that is just beautiful.
Yeah, it makes you melt.
It does.
It gives you warm and fuzzy on the inside.
It does. It does.
Absolutely.
And there was people saving, there was quite a few
koalas.
They were putting all these koalas in their cars to save them. Yeah. It's just.
I've seen that. It was like the images, I just couldn't believe it. I was like,
I know.
Wow, like it's bad.
Yeah.
Like the some of the images I seen, it looked like the whole country was just like in flames. Like they had like a satellite view kinda.
I know, and aerial views of it. Well, there was I think at the worst there was just over 150 fires, and a lot of them were out of control. And I'm in a state like you guys have the United States. Australia's got states, and I'm in the state of New South Wales. And New South Wales has had the biggest loss of, there's been at least 2,000 houses burnt down across the country, and 1,800 of them have been lost in my state. So it's so I've been doing lots of imagining, lots of rain, and saying, like you said, it is done, hearing the rain on the window. And the big storm went through here, and hopefully, I haven't checked the news or any of that for a bit, but hopefully the country is starting to get some rain in the right areas.
Yeah, that's a serious situation. It is
a serious situation. Yeah. And it's it just shows you just if we understand the collective consciousness and imagination can impact things, then let's imagine the wanted, which is it doesn't matter that there's a drought. It doesn't matter that it's Australia. We can collectively link together and imagine the end results. And there has been some rain in some of the spots that were really suffering. So and you guys from the US came over and helped, and Canada and stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't have anything to do with it. I wish I could. I sent like 20 people over there. But there's a lot of famous people that are aware, whether they're actors, actresses, athletes, political figures. A lot of people are doing a lot of things to get as much as they can over there in Australia. So I'm very happy with what I've seen from the country in regards to that. But the crazy thing, again, people are never satisfied. Like Jeff Bezos, everybody knows who Jeff Bezos is, basically, the owner of Amazon, what I mean? And he just donated X amount of dollars, and people are up in flames saying, oh, he should have donated more. You know what I'm saying? So it's like crazy. It's like, you know what I mean? People are people, you know what I mean? But I guess it is what it is.
He donated what he donated, and thank you very much. Glass half full rather than half empty. Thank you.
Exactly.
Like it's no one has to do anything, and if they do it from the kindness of their heart, then that's a good thing.
Most definitely. But I think this goes back to what we talked about. Like, people think that because he's worth like $100+ billion, that he can help this be a quick fix.
Yeah.
And it's no, he can't help this be a quick fix.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but this goes back to, again, like, people want quick fix. Like, if you have a lot of money, people like you should be able to fix something relatively fast, instead of slow and steady. You know what I mean? But collective consciousness.
Yeah. It's And I think those of us that are learning and applying this work about, you don't have to accept what you see in front of you. You can change it. You go, okay, that's a don't want, like using the fires in Australia, for example. Okay, that's a big don't want for the animals, for the people, for the buildings, everything that's been lost. Let's stop focusing on that and let's shift across to imagining that it's raining, that the fires are out, that people can go home and recover, because they've given a lot of hours since November. It's January. This has been going on for 2.5 months here now.
Yeah.
So these people need a rest. And imagine that they get home, that they're safe, that they get to sleep, they get to recharge, that they're paid, even the volunteers for what they've done, because it's been and you just go to the end. So
yeah,
I want to go back to something you said. You said when you set the intent, you do a prayer of thanks. Do you do the words in your head, or is it just pictures?
I do both.
Both.
Yeah, I do both. I like to
quiet voice or out loud.
Yeah, out loud.
Out loud. Okay.
But sometimes I do both. Sometimes I'll say it inside my head and I'll say it out loud. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
Because I guess when you say it, you kind of feel like the vibration. Maybe if you say it out loud, it's just like not saying it in your head. You know what I'm saying? Because when you speak, you hear the vibration. You feel the vibration when you speak. You know what I mean? If you put your hand on your heart, you can feel it. You're like, oh, I'm talking. I can feel the vibration.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll do both sometimes.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's such fun thing when you drop through deeper levels of applying, and you get more time. You stop looking at what's in front of you, apart from the fact that you go, okay, do I like that? Do I not like that? That's not what I like. So let me turn away. Let me not talk about it. Let me focus on what is more, and decrease the amount of time of talking about things you don't want. And not saying you never talk about don't wants, but you go, okay, this I don't really like. Let me move towards what I do want, and let's clean this up within my own self.
Exactly. And I think I more so have the propensity to do these things like how Neville says. Like, I do these things in the morning when I first wake up and right before I go to sleep.
Yeah.
But throughout the day, I really don't think about my intention or my desires.
Yeah.
And I know some people say, think about it 3 times a day, or think about it as often as possible. Bob Proctor, he talks about putting stuff in your pocket.
Yeah.
He calls it pocket goals. You put your goals in your pocket, and then when your hand touches your piece of paper with your goals on it, it's like some sensory neurons. It sends a wave up to your brain and all this like technical shit that I have no idea what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? But he's like, it gets your brain wiring thinking about your goals, and he has this whole thing with that. But I haven't done that yet. But also I have on my wall, I have on a wall before I go to sleep. It's like the last, it has some like goals written on it. So it's kind of like the last thing I look at, before I go to sleep. I guess to try to help impress my subconscious mind. But the ironic thing to me is, I feel like the ironic thing to me is like what we're talking about with, this, the quick fix versus slow and steady.
Yep.
I feel like the ironic thing is if we would just do the intention, set the intention, and then drop it.
Yep.
In a sense, it could come to us in a quick fix type of manner.
Yes, because you're not fixated.
Right. And it's kind of ironic saying that, like, if you just set the intention and drop it, it can come to you way quicker.
Yeah.
But it's because we keep trying to force it, trying to be in control of it, trying to get still. You know what I mean? Like, we end up making it take slow and steady. When if we just, like I said earlier, like the art of Wu Wei, the art of allowing, the art of doing nothing, and how effective that still is, because even though you're not doing nothing, that's still actually doing something. And it's weird saying that, but it's kind of ironic. Like, okay, you don't want to force, you don't want quick fix, but if you set an intention, drop it, forget about it, it probably will end up being
possible.
Possible. You know what
That's
I'm saying?
right.
Not saying all the time, but sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's kind
that's
of ironic.
true.
Yeah, it's kind of ironic.
Yeah, it's so true. So true.
Yeah.
I think you learn that more and more, that the power of letting go, surrender, and allowing. It's like the techniques are only half the nut. The other half of the nut is getting good at letting go, surrender, allowing, faith, and trust. I would add those 5.
Absolutely.
And that takes more effort, because we have got such controlling brains that want to try and coax things into shape. So basically, the better you let go of all those things, coaxing, controlling, manipulating, trying to make it happen, checking when it's happening, all that stuff.
Terrible.
That's when you get better at manifesting, is when you crack that other half of the nut. I see, and in my own life too, just saying, just how much of a control freak I was in my, early years of manifesting.
Yeah, hey, listen, you're not the only one. We get in our way all the time. Humans, we are, like I said, we are the only, beings I feel like on earth that are just out of whack. Animals haven't figured out, no matter how anxiety-ridden the squirrel may be moving or the rabbit moving, they haven't figured out. You know what I'm saying? The plants, the trees, everything else has it figured out except us, because we, like you said, our minds are our biggest gift and curses, so
that's
funny.
True. It's true. We can learn a lot from observing nature, like plants and animals. We could definitely
oh God,
learn.
we can.
Yeah,
absolutely. You might say that, and some people may say, "What?" You know what I'm saying? But it's true. Like,
slow
you're
and steady.
Right. Listen, slow and steady.
Unless you're a giraffe and you're being you're like chased by a lion, then there's no slow and steady.
No, that is no slow and steady. You want to see a black man run? Look at that. You know what I mean? I will be out. You won't see no slow steady Marv. I'll be telling you on
slow steady Marv.
Yes, I was gone. Yeah, I was gone.
Yeah. What were you being chased by?
No, I'm saying, like, in your example with the giraffe and the lion. If I'm getting chased by
in that.
yeah. There would be no such thing as slow steady Marv. There would be world record, Usain Bolt.
Usain Bolt, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would be.
That's it.
Trying to survive.
Yeah. Excuse me.
It's all good.
A little puppy I'm looking after woke me up at like 5:45, so I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone today.
That's all good. It's all good.
I have to have a sleep in the afternoon.
Yeah, naps are always good.
Well, thank you, Marvin. A good little, it was a good topic, because I think this quick fix thing comes up a lot in emails I get, and also, working with people, wherever. The question comes up again and again about how can I get this quick, and how if I do the right things, how long will it take? Those kind of questions. And I understand that, but it's good when you can, like you say, let go of it. Definitely let go of it.